tell me who's here. Mary Jo, you're here, and Cheryl, and Holly. Is Patsy here?
Yes.
Patsy McCook, no?
Yes,
I'm
Patsy's
here. Will
here.
Albert?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Yes, Patsy's here?
I'm
Yes.
here.
Okay, and Pink Willauer?
Yep. Yes.
Good, okay. All right, I got it, so everybody's here. And then,
Yeah.
who's here? Erin, Katie,
Yep,
are you both
just me,
here?
Aaron. Just Aaron. Katie
Okay,
couldn't make
so
it
not-
today.
All right, okay, just so I get it for the minutes, okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Holly.
Now,
It's all yours.
Speaking of the minutes, do we want to let's take a minute and review the last set of minutes,
Yeah.
which are posted on the town hall website, as well as Maureen sending them out.
Can we vote?
Yeah, I think people should look at the minutes before they arrive at the meeting.
Let's just take a minute to just skim through them, or if you haven't already done so.
Should I read them? Does everybody have them?
Mhm.
Front of me. I don't know how to. I read them.
Has everybody read them? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Anyone abstaining, say abstain. Okay, the ayes have it, and the minutes are approved as presented. Thank you very much, Maureen. This is a whole lot of work.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Maureen.
So now moving down the agenda, I think this time I'm going to try to stick as closely as I can to the agenda. And so Maureen, if it has set out all the actions that we need to complete, and I was just going to go through that. So
Okay.
starting thriving local economies, we have Cheryl discussing hosting a roundtable for local business.
So that's been written up. It's about Halls Road and the different ways that engage the community, or in the Economic Development Commission as well, with the SWOT analysis and open houses and things like that local businesses were invited to. So that is written up and it needs to be uploaded to the application. And I have a action 9 also written up for that action. And I need to send that to Jess, Aaron, is that correct?
Yeah, if you want, you can send it to me and we can copy you on the email and send it to Jess, or you can just send it directly to her. Do you have her email address?
I don't, so I'll send it to you.
Okay, awesome.
I had sent it to the whole group like several weeks ago,
Mhm.
but it would be good to get Jess's input on that action 9. So, okay.
Now, I'm just curious, is it going to Jessica because it's an action 9 that needs to use the equity toolkit? Or is that just how are we just uploading things through Sustainable rather than doing it ourselves? Are we
Action 9,
sending it
because it's an action 9.
Because it's the equity toolkit, okay. Okay, thank you. And to me, that looked so comprehensive. It seems to me we ought to be getting some points off of that one way or another. Now moving on to action 2, that's one of the ones where an action is still definitely needed. And Maureen, you just very helpfully sent out some more information about the knotweed, which it seems to me it included a before photo and quite a lot of information off of Facebook. And it also included other information about the Clouds and the general education they've been doing, that Linda Cloud's been doing about invasive species. So I don't know if we should break it in half and have it be 2 actions or just 1 action for invasives.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to do that. So you decide. And I have one more piece of information to add to the latest write-up that I did, and that's from Suzanne Thompson as far as education for the community and for town staff. So that'll go in there too. So I will do that this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening about education, about invasive species. This is not that urgent, but I don't really know how to upload things anymore. I've done it in the past, but
Well, I'm sending it to you or the interns to upload it because I'm not going to take time to try to do it, to learn it and then do it properly.
Yeah, Katie
So
and I.
I've been, okay, so that's okay. I'm
Yep.
just going to send it to one of the girls. Okay.
All right. So
So
Erin, you're
that's the
saying,
only thing missing. That's the only thing missing from my report, and otherwise, what else should I be adding? Comments, anybody? What else needs to go into that?
Maureen, I just want to make sure I had the latest. So was it part of what you sent out last night? I know you sent out a bunch of stuff last night.
Last night, right. And then today, so throw that out because today I will, I did hear from Suzanne this morning so that I can add the part of educating the, the groups that I just mentioned, community and staff. So she's got that for me.
but
What
there's
else is missing?
Maybe, oh, I see it. Wait. Okay. I have a bunch of pictures from your audit. I'm just looking for the right email.
Yeah, it would be the latest one.
Oh, got it. Okay. Sorry, I haven't looked at that yet. Oh, it looks pretty comprehensive.
There's an awful lot of stuff, but some of it is more than a year old. I don't know if that's, especially the educational stuff by Linda Clow. It does all go together, but I don't know if we should include it just to show that this is an ongoing effort. The actual pulling of knotweed has happened on 4 occasions this summer. And I do think there's before and after photos. So is that by itself enough to get us the points if we write it up properly? Do we think?
That's a question for the young ladies.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Erin.
Yeah, I read through the most recent, Maureen's most recent Nip the Knotweed, like narrative, her draft. And like, basically, like Cheryl was saying, it looks really comprehensive. The only thing is that, I mean, I think we can keep it. Like, it's no harm for us having dates that are past a year. You'll get like points taken away for having them there. I think it says that the maintenance procedures, so the actual like taking the actual action that's taken needs to be current, but it doesn't. The education does say the look back period is within the last year, but if it's already on the document, then there's no need to like, we don't need to change it necessarily.
So
Okay, well, that's good, because I thought that having Linda Clow's presentation, it might be a little bit out of date, but I also put in there that she's a master gardener. She's a member, well, actually, former member of Conservation Commission. I called her a volunteer for Sustainable, and so she's and the Nip the Knotweed volunteer. So that whole background of hers, I thought, might be something that we should note.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the educational parts that Suzanne has done will be current. There's nothing old about that part.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should just, I think we can keep it, we can leave it and upload it as it is.
And now,
Yeah,
Erin,
go ahead. Well, wait a minute. What I did not put in there as far as her report about educating town staff is that Tim Grizzle kept asking her, so when do we spray the Roundup on these plants? Is it before or after you cut them? And she just kept saying, well, not yet, not yet, not yet. So he did not get it, that it was supposed to be a natural way of eliminating and controlling these things. He kept going right back to Roundup. So anyway, that's not in there, but she's got a comprehensive list and description of what she's done. Anyway, that's your smile for today.
And Maureen, I'm trying to glance through it very quickly while we're talking. Does it highlight I know I see Lyme Art Association. Does it also highlight that Public Works was involved in removing it from town hall property? Because that's one of the steps. That
I see that on the first.
Is it on there? Yeah.
Okay.
I see it on the first page.
Okay. And then it's municipal staff with Suzanne.
Yeah, other local groups involved in this effort included Old Lyme Public Works.
Oh,
and the
okay.
local
Good.
association.
Okay.
Should I make that more specific about that they moved this stuff or no? You want me to add that they moved it from town hall, or just leave it the way it is?
Can I take a look at it after we're off the phone so I can really?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So go ahead and you can email me, today, early afternoon. I'll be working on it.
As soon as we're off the phone. As long as it's clear to the readers, I think that you're answering their specific requests.
Yep. Well, I'll take any suggestions you have, but let's keep on going.
Oh, yeah.
Who has to leave at 12 today? Everybody or nobody?
I can stay on. Erin, how long can we have you for?
I can stay on until like a little after 12, but I have another meeting at 12:30.
Okay, and the nip the knotweed stuff, I guess, is our most urgent thing. So I don't mind putting in some real time on this, but we'll try to get that over to you as soon as possible. If there still is a problem, we could scramble this afternoon to beg Town Hall to get something on their website or something like that. But it looks to me, my impression was it should be done. So we're hoping that is done, except for the uploading part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving now to action 3, Cheryl, the cultural ecosystems.
Okay. 3.1, the cultural map, Google map is now done and linked to on the website. So 3.1 for the cultural map and ctvisit.com are done. So I just have to upload all that.
Great.
3.2.2 municipal marketing, that's done. That just has to be uploaded.
Wow.
Let me pull this up here. 3.2.7, which is permitting process. There's nothing that has to happen before today, but I have to write it up.
Okay.
We're not improving the permitting process. Mary Jo, you'll appreciate this. The permitting process to use public spaces for special events is like pretty straightforward and easy. Like you just go to town hall and say, can I have a road race? So we don't need to streamline anything, but we need to write that up and say that. The only permits are really for tents and then at the state level, liquor license, and the health district level, food safety. So it just has to be written up. So hopefully that'll be fine. 3.2.8, establish the art district. That's pretty much written. I just have to finish that and send it in. 3.2.9 is written up and needs to be uploaded. That's the art show. 3.2.10 is the library. That's written and just needs to be uploaded. Is that all of them? Yeah, that's all of 3.
That's incredible. That's
Wow.
just amazing.
And for,
Thank you.
Maureen, for the record, I mean, for the minutes,
Yeah.
I'd like to
Yeah.
acknowledge Michelle Noren and Dave Roberge for their assistance in, oh no, I'm acknowledging them in another section, but in action 7. But action 3, I'd like to acknowledge Michelle Noren for her help on this. You know,
And you know what? Yeah, she's been very helpful to me too. So, yeah, you
I'll
can go
try and
ahead and
acknowledge
acknowledge her,
that.
but I'd like to throw mine in there too.
Yeah, I'll try and mention that on Monday.
Great.
I don't know
Yeah,
how she's been juggling it all. Yeah, she's been helping me too, obviously, you know, with those audits. I mean, we're all, and she's always happy to do it, and she gets stuff done so fast.
She gets
So-
right back to us. So anytime I've needed something, it's been waiting at that front desk for me, vice versa. If I leave anything for her, she gets it and she's acted on it before I can even get home. So,
Yeah.
and not only that, but her lovely, upbeat, helpful attitude goes such a long way into making this happen. We'd have to really look around and beat our brains out to try to find either who's in charge or where to find this, and she's able to do it. So she's like an octopus. She can talk to everybody. She can get stuff done. She's reliable. You never have to follow up. So make a list of all those wonderful qualities, and yeah, she's terrific. I think I'll buy her something from Chocolate Shell.
Aw.
From the group of us.
Yeah,
From
that
the
would
group. I
be,
mean, she really has made this happen. So, yeah.
Definitely.
And you're going to talk about Dave Roberge at another location, is that
Yeah,
it?
action 7.2.
Okay, all right.
but you know, if we finished up 3, which that's a huge amount of information for under one action. But you know, going down the list, I think we may almost be jumping to 7 because I think 4 and 5 and 6 are all kind of covered. 5 we're going to look at under 9 because the transportation will probably go under innovate. All the transportation audits will probably go under innovation. So I think 4 is done, and 5 is
Okay.
done, and 6 is done. And so now we're up to 7 with strategic and inclusive public services.
Mhm.
And now we've got nip the knotweed there, but I'm just so worried about the points for 2 that I think we should keep nip the knotweed strictly under 2, except that I think, Aaron, you did say that we could try for points under 7 and it wouldn't cost us under 2 if we, you know, that if they have to give us points under 2 or under 7, they'll give us the points under 2 where we need them.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we could try putting something for nip the knotweed under 7. But our main focus now is 7, I think, would be the provide effective community communications, where we're back to Cheryl.
Yes, so that's all written up now. I'm waiting for one tiny bit of information from the town clerk for one little sentence. So the inventory and the communication strategy is all written and okayed. And that is Dave Roberge for emergency communications and Michelle Noren for, you know, e-alerts and social media and helping Tim with the weekly e-newsletter and all. So excellent help and collaboration with those 2.
Okay.
That's great. And we do have, I mean, the town does have great, you know, communications, you know, so I think they've gotten really modern.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's thanks to Michelle. She's really on top of things.
Yeah, she's computer smart.
Okay, what's Dave's title, Cheryl?
Director of Emergency Management.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay, then moving down to action 9, we have healthy, efficient, and diverse housing, where Maureen, you've noted action is needed, and I think the website may show that, but my understanding, we keep kicking the questions back to Erin, but I think that has been updated, and we're okay on that.
Action 8.
Yeah,
So-
action 8 was the one. If you guys want, I can go in and change the current status of it for 8.1. It says must revise right now. We did revise it, but we didn't want to change the status of it without your okay. So if you would like, we can change that status. But that was the one that you guys had everything already submitted. We just had to reword that what type of meeting it was.
Yeah, I think if we can just get that finalized, that would be great. And we'll have to review it all in the end anyway. But I think that anything we can do to push that towards being finalized is a good thing to do.
And I can, if you guys want me to summarize it really briefly what it was, just to get everyone on the same page. So that this action 8.1, the last time that Old Lyme submitted their application was the last look back period in the spring. And they had mentioned that all of the work that Old Lyme put in under 8.1 looked really good, except 8.1.1, the sub action, there needed to be we needed to note what type of meeting was held for them to put, they had a meeting about affordable housing, and they filled out an assessment, and they wrote up the meeting minutes, but never said what type of town meeting it was. So they needed clarification of what type of meeting it was, basically. So Katie and I went through and changed wrote at the top of the document, like it was this town meeting. I think we said it was the Sustainable Old Lyme Committee meeting. So we put that in, and then we emailed Jess and said, basically, is that all we needed to do? And it looks like it is, because you guys already did the work in the spring. So it looked from where we're standing, it looks really good. That was all we need to change. That was the only thing the reviewer said last time. So I believe it's good now.
Great.
Thank you
I'll take it.
for explaining that. Okay, so we're basically good with getting that marked as complete, and it sounds like those are good changes. And that's lucky, because under Action 8, we're not going to be able to get credit for that housing committee, the activation of the Affordable Housing Exploratory Committee. We don't get points for that, but we're still getting other points under 8, and so I think we should be set for that.
Okay.
Okay, so now this brings us down to Action 9, which is the inclusive and equitable community impacts. We're climbing up the learning curve as fast as we can. And we've been doing the walk audit and survey, applying the equity tool. We're hoping to apply the equity toolkit to them. As a first step, as everyone knows, Cheryl wrote this terrific letter for the selectmen, and Mary Jo sent a terrific letter to Tim asking to read that letter in. And do you think is that going to be happening? Do we think, Mary Jo?
Yes, he confirmed yesterday that we can. Whether he reads it or I don't know, but it will get added.
Oh, great. Okay. Great news.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and thank you, Cheryl, for grabbing this. Especially this week got a little bit crazy. I had family in town, and thought I was going to be more efficient than I was, and I did basically nothing, but it got done anyway. And so thank you, Cheryl, for writing that, and Mary Jo for getting it to them. So I think we've met the deadline in terms of that, and now the second step is going to be to analyze the data. A little more carefully.
So I have an update that I'll share with you. And I know we passed over Action 5, which was where the audit might have gone. And we last talked about Action 10.
Uh-huh.
I've been talking to, or I sent Alyssa Norwood from Sustainable Connecticut our write-ups, and she is available Monday at 2:00. Erin, I don't know your availability or Katie's availability to sit on a Zoom call. And Holly, it's up to you.
Yeah.
But so her advice is that the audit go under 5.5 because that's where we started, and we just need to fix what we've already done and add what we've already added and include the survey as supplemental to the audit, and have action 9 apply to action 5.5, which is the audit. But if we feel like we didn't do enough inclusive and equitable activity to support 5.5, then to break the survey out as an action 10 and have action 9 support the survey.
I see. Okay, and that's very technical. I think I follow it. My big concern, which I'll put to her, is the survey, I believe, had 285 responses as of this morning. It'll close at midnight. The audit only had 11 responses, this round of the audit.
But you have 2 audits. You have the first audit and the second audit. So that gives you close to 20 or so.
Yeah, I think there were 2 people who overlapped, though, between the first and the second.
Okay, but point being, that the community was invited to audit Lyme Street, and what we were really looking for in their response to your spring submission was a more organized kind of summary of everything learned in the audit.
And also a more general outreach. And I think we did do terrific outreach. And thank you, Maureen. You just kept doing it. Thank you for your email this morning. I'm really glad we got this back onto the Lyme line, and there was a lot of outreach. It sounds like this is going to be Alyssa's call in the end. So maybe we should just wait until Monday, or we could start writing things up, but then see what she says on Monday.
Yeah.
I guess how we write it up will depend on whether it's going under 10 or under 5. So we will need that information before too long. We'll just leave that up to her, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I would rather have it be under 5. It seems to me it is a transportation thing, walkability.
And I mean, one of the bottom lines is the audit cannot be used in action 10.
Okay. So maybe we would get credit for the survey in action 10?
Possibly, or yeah. I mean, I think that's really what we need to sort out on Monday. If the action if the survey is a standalone, that can go in action 10, or if it's part of the audit in action 5.
Okay. Okay, and we could try okay. All right, so I guess that does depend on Erin's determination. I mean, on Alyssa's determination. I should be getting her more information about what we have for the audits before Monday, right? So she can make her decision.
I mean, if you want to give me that, we could talk when this is over, and I can send her another email or something.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I can give you the summary of the other 6 audits, and we'll just see where we are. Okay, so we're going to be waiting for Alyssa on that. The other issues that people want to bring up with all of this.
I had a question about.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Maureen.
I was just going to ask if we have noted the participation of Lyme in any of this, because they too, she too has been very responsive, very immediate about posting things and very consistent about it. So did we really mention that anywhere as far as community involvement or something?
I think you can definitely, on the various actions, include any articles she writes as supporting documents.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't-
okay, because it just occurred to me that we mention her a lot, but we haven't put her into any official document as far as any of these actions are concerned.
Well, I think she'd like
I
to see
I don't know
herself
where
as-
we'd put it, but I don't want to lose track of the fact that she really is committed to helping us too. God bless.
Thank you. Sorry about that. She
Any thoughts?
like, well, she's an independent news organization. So
Right.
I think, to share that I have to go blow my nose, but
Yeah.
she, she's posting the press releases and supporting you, but I think she would appreciate being recognized as an independent news source.
Sure.
News
So
reporter.
what do you want me to do, right? Thank you note, and somehow, I don't know where you'd include it, that's all.
I would just, whenever
Sure.
there's an article in Limelight, include a link to that as a supporting document. I can certainly do
Okay.
that on the arts and culture one.
Because as far as the walk audit's concerned, this is the survey especially, she has been very good about staying on top of that.
Yeah, and she adjusted a headline when we requested it, and she let people know when hard copies became available. And there have been some comments on the Limelight as well, and we could still chime in to respond to the comments, which I think Cheryl did about a week ago. And then I was thinking of doing it again, but I wanted to make sure I've got the right kind of comment. But I think we can respond to people even today, even when it's closing, to let them know that we care about their comments. And that's good for the Limelight as well as being good for our effort.
Okay, so just tell me what you want me to do. Anything?
Right now, I wasn't going to do much. My first priority was going to be to get a comment onto the Limelight, if we can come up with something that would be helpful, because that's good for the Limelight. And then we can just send her an email thanking her. But then I think she ought to be noted in our final report that she was,
Absolutely, yeah, that's what I'm pushing for too.
Yeah, the final report should say how much work she did and, how supportive she was, letting people know about this.
Does she have a letters to the editor section? Do you know
She does.
offhand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that.
That's nice.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
all about people read that, and it's great for her to have people reading the Limelight. So
yeah, okay. Well, I'll start with that. I'll do a letter to the editor. And then you can, whatever you want to do with that. It's a unanimous vote, right? That she has been very helpful and very reliable.
yeah, and bringing the whole community together. People look at the Limelight because it tells us what's going on in town. And I don't know how she does it.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
not,
I know.
I have no idea. A one-woman newspaper. It's just, But
I
we're
know.
lucky. Maureen, while we're looking at this whole issue of walkability, there's a very closely related issue, which you and I have been going back and forth on, which I just want to bring up since we've got a little time anyway. You sent us some more information about walking in other places besides Lime Street, like Town Woods Road. And
Yeah.
my impression is that this is a sort of a controversy. I think it's a legitimate controversy. You're very smart. I'm smart enough, I think, but we disagree about this. You had your husband, your late husband was injured on Town Woods Road, and you're trying to not let this happen again to someone else in the community. You're trying to make Town Woods Road safer, and you've been hoping to harness these walk audits as a way of, making roads, including Town Woods Road, safer. Is that fair to say? Whereas I don't think we can audits on Town Woods Road at all because it's so dangerous. But I think that we should be.
I thought that for the survey,
safer.
people are able to put their comments at the end, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I would do, is consider it comments and documentation at the end of somebody's survey suggestion. It doesn't have to be a separate action, just add it to the surveys. Because that came about in May when we first met, and we were downtown in front of the chocolate shell, and two of the conservation commissioners went out and photographed and then added the text to those pictures. So I'd like to find a place to slide them in somewhere, because they did participate and take some time. But that's what I was thinking, is just add it to one of the comments in the survey in general, because people get to choose how far from home they walk, or identify a street or a neighborhood. That's all it has to be. It's just an addition to some of that information, some of those comments.
Okay.
No? Is that too much?
I think including it in comments makes sense.
Yeah, just do that. That's all.
And I think Mary Jo had said that we should not actually be including photos in in the website that's on Sustainable CT if they show private property. I don't know how many photos will be in the final report, but
Yeah, okay, well, that's true. We didn't even discuss that back in May. So,
yeah.
My suggestion is do whatever you can with them, even if you just include the text.
Yeah, okay. So you're fine.
Don't make more of it. That doesn't have to be more than it is.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking it's an important issue, and Rogers Lake is beautiful, and it would be so nice if some of those roads could be made safer. But yeah, we'll just address that by including it as much as we can in the final report.
Sure. That's all you have to do. Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
What else?
Do we want to talk about action 10?
Yep, go ahead.
So I talked to Rebecca Waldo and about the school system. So that will be one of our action 10.1s. And she gave me a bunch of information. I'm going to write a draft, and then I'm going to send it to her, because she's flat out the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to write something drafty, and then she can elaborate on it.
Okay, beautiful. So, there's that article you can draw from the day. You have that, correct?
Yep, I've got that. I've got the Sierra Club article. I've got her PowerPoint. I just interviewed her. What else do I have? Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
And is there a resolution available that on official site?
Yeah, there's a whole PowerPoint. Yeah, the school system made a resolution.
Yeah. So we've got to get points for that under something.
So that'll be 10.
Yeah.
There was some question. I just need to close the loop on this. Was it decided that their electric bus doesn't count for anything?
The electric bus, it specifically, I guess what we found, like going through the application, is that to get credit for it on its own, like to get credit as for having one, it's that the application unfortunately isn't very, I don't want to say updated, but isn't up to date. And they require that your entire, or certain portion of the entire fleet of buses would be electric rather than just one. So
Okay.
we suggested that we put that in with the narrative for 10.1 about the school, the green school. So then we say, here's what the school's doing, and they also have an electric bus. And so then I think it'll be really, really well-rounded.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
All right, that's good.
Now, in terms of our priorities going forward, today is the last day to actually be doing things, is the deadline. In terms of this nip the knotweed thing, could we send that over to you, Erin, and see if that's something where we need to try to fit in anything else this afternoon in order to get our points?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that
First,
today.
the first priority.
Mhm.
I'm
And
going
then-
to add what I have from
And then
Suzanne
Cheryl,
as
did
far
you
as
say you wanted to read through that?
part. Can't hear you. Sorry, I'm talking over you. Say it
Sorry.
again.
Cheryl, did you say you wanted to read through that as well, or?
I'll read it as soon as we get off the phone, and I'll send any thoughts I have to everybody.
And Cheryl, you're another one who's an octopus. I'll be sending you what we've got in terms of the audits as well. And so we'll be getting ready to talk to Alyssa on Monday.
Okay.
And then with the other things, it sounds like basically they're done or they're close to done. And so we're just, if I can help, eventually it'll get to the point where maybe the audit stuff is wrapped up and maybe one or two of us could be helping you, Cheryl. A lot is on you. Are you looking for anyone to help with any of these logistics? It's a lot of detail things, but can we help you with anything?
On the audit or something else?
On this long list of other things that you're doing.
The only thing I'll say is I might send some things to Patsy for her proofreading expertise.
Delighted to help.
Okay, great.
But it looks to me like we're probably going to get a ton of points, and we just want to make sure we get them in every category. The two vulnerable ones are 2 and 9. I feel like it's a chess game, and it's like our two players who are vulnerable are number 2 and number 9. But we're checking out 2 today, and we'll get to the point where we've got 9 under control. And in fact, what Cheryl did with action number 1, the equity toolkit is there, so we might get points for 9 under that as well. So are there other issues that people want to bring up now about going forward?
Just a report is that the article on the solar bus, solar powered bus, I submitted that to the Old Lyme Events magazine and the photo.
Great.
So just FYI, that's gone in, which I do anyway for Conservation Commission. The other thing too is that Nip the Knotweed has invited us to their final pulling session, which is more of a celebration than a down and dirty pulling session, and they'll have refreshments. So that's on August 13, and we are invited.
Aw.
Does that count for community collaboration?
Not after midnight.
Let's plan to do that. August 13th, which is a Thursday. It's not this week, but it's next week.
What time?
Okay, we'll get points next year for that.
Yeah.
What time, Maureen? What time is
Yeah,
the
good question. I don't know. She didn't mention the time, but it's been evening in the past.
Uh-huh.
I'll send everybody an email.
Why do I have RP?
She says bring a chair.
Maureen, I have RPOCD municipal meeting written down for the 13th. Do we know what that is?
What is
That
it?
sounds like something you sent me. Okay, well, hopefully there's no conflict.
Okay, that's probably that river cog.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. Yep, the Regional Plan of Conservation Development meeting.
Okay.
Do we need to be there?
I don't think so. Unless
Okay, good.
there's a committee that they established with representatives from each town. I don't know if any of you guys are the representatives, but
No,
I
No.
don't think you don't need to be there, but you are more than welcome to join, I think.
I'd rather go to the invitation party, especially if they have snacks. But you know, I think it would be good for us to hook up with Nip the Knot or Weed thing, because you know Suzanne Thompson is a powerhouse as far as environmental issues, and I think we should know her, and she should know us, and she's been very helpful about providing information. So, you know, she's got 2 radio shows, she's got columns, she writes, she's everywhere. You know, she is also, I don't know if she's chair or a volunteer with the East Lyme Save the Hills. Oswegatchie. No?
Oswegatchie Hills.
Yeah, are you familiar with that? And they are powerhouses, believe me, as far as recruiting volunteers, connecting with the town. They would be a model for us in that context of protecting space and invasives, that type of thing, containing the development. So she is behind a lot of that. So my point is that yes, I'm going to go to her wrap-up meeting on Thursday the 13th. So if anybody else would like to go, come on ahead. And it's at Lyme Art Association. So very simple.
I'm glad you said that. I would have gone to town hall.
Where is
Yeah,
it?
no, Lyme Art Association.
Okay.
So bring a chair.
Okay.
If you don't have a chair, let me know. I'll bring one for you.
That's a great idea. And people here really care about invasives. So it's a great idea for many, many reasons. So.
Well, and that's a real dirty job that they've been doing. You know, that stuff is 8 feet tall, and you have to cut it and pull it and bag it. There's nothing easy about that. But also, she had a crew of volunteers. So, you know, it'd be just good to see who's doing what in town.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So yes, I plan to be there.
Why
Join me.
why would you have to bring a chair to the Lyme Art Association?
It's going to be
Because
outside.
it's their wrap-up meeting, not only pulling weeds, but it's the final pulling session of the season.
Oh, I see. And it's outside. Okay.
I assume it's
Yeah.
outside, just because of COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they pulled weed. They did. That was one of the locations where they pulled this knotweed. So, you know, it's extensive. It would be good for us to see just how far they've gotten. And sort of in a quiet way, really. You know, if we weren't on this committee, how would we know much about what she's doing there? So I'm just curious to know how she pulls this together and pulls people together. But yeah, it's not really part of what we're going to write up or submit, but still, I did say in my report that they and Sustainable CT have shared outreach and volunteers. So there you have it. Bob's your uncle. As the British say, Bob's your uncle. Okay.
No, that's a great idea.
So, Holly, you can just walk over.
Yeah, I'm pretty near there, you know, and it's just, I think they gave us the idea for some weed pulling parties that we had on Rose Lane where I live more than a year ago. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a great idea.
Okay.
Is there a time for that party?
I don't know. I'll send it to you.
We don't have time. Okay.
We think it's evening.
I asked that before, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely in the evening. It's like 6 o'clock or something like that.
Moving on to other sort of administrative, I think that everybody got their volunteer form.
Yep.
I'm assuming that everyone's filled it out and sent it back to Michelle.
I did.
So hopefully we're on our way to becoming official. But then I sort of feel a little bit like we're sprinting towards, you know, the final exam, which is, you know, August 17th, and then by August 25th, everything is really completely done. I was just going to say ahead of time, my feeling was we're going to sprint and do as much as we can, so hopefully we will get our points. But then, it's time for us to take a break, and I hope we're all sort of in agreement on that we'll be taking a break until we find out what's
Yes.
more about what's going on.
Yes, I vote for taking a break.
Okay.
You guys earned it.
So,
I think that we are a powerhouse. I'll tell you, I've never seen such a group that can come together and just go away and work independently. It's been amazing, really, to see what people turn out, what you've written and submitted on time. Incredible.
yeah, we've got a whole lot has gotten done, just a whole lot. And it's such an important cause. Every time I pick up the paper, all I think is, what can we do for the environment?
So when
Maureen, you really got us going.
Oh, gee. Well, thank you. I'm
You wouldn't stop.
Leading the way.
Yeah, we were defunct as of last. I was taking it. I was throwing out my old files, so it was defunct. And you just kept making.
But I think it's been worth it. Definitely been worth it. So,
yeah.
Do we get anything more than recognition when we reach bronze? We don't get plaques or beer or anything like that.
Tiaras?
No. Cookies? Girl Scout cookies? No?
Well, hopefully
Okay.
the points and the write-up will be applied to grant opportunities, in which case, if I'm still around, I'm going to clearly say it's because of you guys.
Okay, then we'll build in lobster rolls, full lobster dinners for anyone who
That's a
volunteers.
deal.
Okay.
In 10 years from now, we're going to have bike paths and jogging paths all over town. It'll just be like a woodland.
This will be our legacy.
Yeah.
We'll have a statue. We'll have a statue down by town hall.
Statues.
Group of powerful women. You know that World War II postcard poster that you see about the woman Riveter, Rosie the Riveter, with the heading "We Can Do It." You remember that?
Yep.
Well, I'll send it to you. And she's showing her muscles. She's rolled up her sleeves. Says, "We can do it." That's us. Instead of having muscle, we have strong fingers from typing.
We sure do. We sure do.
So where are we?
I
Are
think
we meeting next week?
I believe we are. The next meeting would be Friday, August 7th on
Yep,
Zoom.
okay.
And in between then, we're going to be sprinting on Action 2, Nip the Knotweed, and Action 9, especially with the walkability. And so hopefully we'll be in good shape by next week. And the one administrative thing that I've been overlooking is the fact that we will not have our fellows indefinitely, but I'm so devastated about that I'm scared to even look at the email. But we've been relying on you so much. And thank you for everything you've done. And there's going to be even more of it, I think, in the next week.
Sure.
If you want to tutor us on how to post things, I will try.
And Mary Jo, thank you too, because I know you've got plenty going on, but this takes a lot of time, and I appreciate that. Also, I appreciate you being our defender when you go into town hall and start talking about environment, and it's not a popular subject.
Oh, I'm honored to work with you guys. Thank you for including me.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. And your meeting is Monday night or Tuesday night?
Monday night.
Okay.
So Monday night, you're going to read the letter to the selectmen. Is that it?
One of us, either Tim or myself, will read it. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we will hopefully be official. So
Wow.
Yeah.
we're learning about town government, democracy in action.
You know
Well,
what? Can I speak up, you guys? I have a little bit of a question, and I saw it in the, is there going to be flack because I'm from Lyme once it gets to be this official?
Well,
I mean,
you know what? Apparently you were already appointed. yesterday they found records for everyone with the exception of Cheryl had been appointed in the first round. And so you were already appointed. So if it does come up, that's going to be my discussion. It's like,
I come through the church. The church hasn't done that much, or hasn't been that as effective as we might have. That's the link. But it's
well, we do have other committees where we have people from out of town, so it's certainly fine. Not so much on boards and commissions, but on other committees we do. I don't think there'll be an issue, and if it is, you guys are already done, and you were appointed before. I think it'll be okay. So we'll see. There was some discussion whether we should just all we needed to do is appoint Cheryl versus because everyone else is appointed, and to not put term limits. I was in the category of term limits because then it comes up on the selectmen's regular schedule to reappoint people as opposed to just leaving. Yeah, so I don't know. But I did suggest that we appoint because some people on the original appointment list are no longer working with you all. So we'll see what Tim decides, but I'm hoping the latter.
Okay, thank you.
But thank you.
Okay, so we'll be getting a lot of news on Monday. We'll be talking to Alyssa, and then in the evening we'll be finding out about the town, or the next day we'll find out what happened at the Board of Selectmen meeting. So whole lot coming up, and a certain amount of typing. So we'll be thinking about getting to work.
Holly, Patsy and I should say that we. I mean, this is not exactly related, but in terms of reach out, we really have worked with the Episcopal Church, and whether we're going to accomplish anything. But the main thing that we've said to them that we're doing is the Sustainable Connecticut. So that just for our information, that I think is going to be good.
Yeah, I'll put that into the notes on the outreach for the walking. And the fact that you've built that bridge, it sounds like they're very focused on environmental issues.
Yes, they are.
So we can work with that going forward as well.
Yes.
So that's work that's going to be very useful down the road. But we may have had people take the survey, because they found out about it through the church.
Yes.
So
that
will go into our report. So.
Yeah, and that survey was on the church website too.
Church
so that helped to promote it.
Church is.
Yeah.
St. Anne's too.
Thank you.
We need screenshots of that so that we
Yeah.
can include that to support our documentation.
Yeah, and that's
to the faith communities.
Yeah. And that is something where if I learned how to post, it would be a little easier for me to stay organized in terms of figuring out what I have. I would start posting it tentatively, but I'll start. That's more like a logistical thing that I just need to figure out.
But I have document files, Holly, that I just have by category or by action. And whenever I have a screenshot or anything, I just throw it in that folder so that when it comes time to upload, I have everything in one place.
Okay, I'm just going to figure out how to get my files a little more organized on the computer. That should not be terribly difficult. So,
right.
So that's a good point. I need to clarify. I have a lot of references in what I wrote, links rather. Should I print those out, or is the link sufficient? Erin, I guess that's for you.
I think the link should be sufficient. I think for most of the, I think for most of them, I can't see that it would be a problem.
I don't mind muddy the water, but I think a lot of the information is on Facebook. So for that, I think we have to go to screenshots. I don't think they want Facebook links.
Sure. Yeah, you can screenshot for Facebook. Yep.
Okay. So that's how we'll do some of that nip the knotweed stuff.
And for that, when you, if Katie and I are going to be the ones uploading the nip the knotweed, then it won't be an issue. But as like a rule of thumb, they usually say if you're going to include a link, if you can provide like in the additional information box, say like, oh, it's on like this main page or something like that, just so you can help the reviewer see what you're referencing.
Okay. Okay, so now we're getting into the weeds a bit, and I think a lot of people have an awful lot of this stuff to do. I was going to stick to Robert's rules here and ask if anybody wants to make a motion to adjourn. Until
So moved.
do we have
I'll
a second?
Cheryl will second.
All in favor? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Well, then the ayes do have it, and the meeting is adjourned. But we will see each other next Friday. And in the meantime, I think we'll all be coordinating with each other about everything.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Great
you.
team.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good
Bye.
weekend. Good day.